Anyone can sound like Beethoven. But your music, what you do, only you can do that.
What do we do about the bones?
Oh, what a perfect little movie to deal with the current climate that we're living in today. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Green Book. I really do appreciate it. So this movie, Green Book, is directed by Peter Farrelly. He is one of the Farrelly brothers. And it's very odd to me because if you look at his filmography, he has never done anything serious or any type of drama before. He's done Dumb and Dumber 1 and 2, Shallow Hal, and Me, Myself, and Irene. He's worked with Jim Carrey a lot. And so when I found out he was attached to this, I was very shocked. Now, the title of this film is called Green Book. It's inspired by a true story, not necessarily based on a true story. So 100% of it is not entirely accurate. And that's very interesting to me. And I can't wait to talk about that a little bit later. But I want to talk about this for now, the title of this movie, Green Book. If you don't know what they mean by Green Book is this was like a manual that was put together in like 1936, and it lasted all the way to 1966, from 1936 to 1966. And what it was actually a Negro motorist, the official title was the Negro Motorist Green Book, or the Negro Traveler's Green Book, which is crazy if you think about it. What that means is, like, black people that look like me, when they wanted to travel through the country, they had to take a green book with them so they can know where to stay, where to eat, where to get gas, where to lodge, where to, lie their head, all that good stuff, so they wouldn't get lynched, beat up, raped, tortured, killed, things like that. I mean, just some of the stuff that, we had to, go through in this country. Which is pretty crazy. And, so, I mean, that's what the film is about is, it has Viggo Mortensen in it. I know him from Lord of the Rings. Fantastic in that. And also, Mahershala Ali. He was in, Hidden Figures. He was also in the movie he won the Oscar in. I can't remember the name right now. It's Moonlight. Oh my goodness. And what it is this is inspired on a true story about their friendship and them traveling around the country. It spans over a 8 to 9 week period. It starts in New York, and they're traveling around the country because Mr. Ali, his name is Dr. Don Shepard, Dr. Don Shirley. He is an African-American pianist, and he's a damn good pianist. And so the film is just kind of about their adventure as they're going around the country and as their friendship builds. Now, the racism in this film and the white supremacists and all that, they're everywhere. They're, in front of you, behind you, to the left, and to your right. And of course, that's how it is. That's how it was in 1962. That's just how it is today. But I said in my intro how I love how this movie is coming out right now in this political climate is because it's just this film right here is just kind of showing you just how like the racists just never disappeared. A lot of people feel that we live in a post-racial country, which is insane. These white supremacists are popping up everywhere. And they're in this film too. And they're just as overt as they are in today in 2018. There was a overt back then. And, it's just kind of sickening. And just one of the things that I really did like about this film is them addressing all of that, putting that on the forefront, but also the performances by the two lead actors. They're both freaking fantastic. Both of them do deserve some type of Oscar nomination or recognition when all those announcements starts coming out. Especially Viggo Mortensen. His performance was a little bit better than Ali's to me. He's a working class Italian American. He's kind of just the driver, the chauffeur, the chauffeur. I cannot say that word. The bodyguard for Mr. Ali in this film, Mr. Don Shepard. But at the same time, I found out Mr. Farrelly, the director of this film, he used an effective tool with Viggo Mortensen's acting, but it was also kind of dangerous because Viggo's character in this movie is a racist. He does have that white supremacy mindset. ideology floating through his bloodstreams. But at the same time, the narrative of the film is trying to make you like the character. And you do, which is kind of crazy, because here I am watching movies like, man, this guy's a clear racist, but he has a great personality. It's like, what is going on? And so it's just kind of like, I appreciate the film is making me go through those emotions, even though I don't want to. It's just kind of challenging and kind of just opens my eyes and wakes me up to like, whoa, B, you already, woke enough to some degree, but you can't fall back and go into the sunken place, because like, this is some real ish right here. You know what I'm saying? These racists, these white supremacists will smile in your face and will love you and be nice to you and do all these things and da. But behind closed doors, or even sometimes in your face, they want to cut your throat, or just saying, bad things about you. Or if, you eat with a knife, spoon, and fork, they don't want to wash it. They want to throw it away because they feel like, your black skin, your black blood, or whatever contaminated it or something like that. So this film does, that it deals with all that. The pacing in this film is also fantastic. It comes in at around 2 hours and 10 minutes, but it did not seem long at all. And I noticed this very early on in the beginning of the film too, is the way the soundtrack picks up at the very beginning of a transitioning scene. There's a very clever way that the director used that so that you're not getting bored and you're staying upbeat. And you're following the characters. And you really do get to know the characters, especially Viggo Mortensen's character. He's not just a driver. You get a sense of his Italian culture and what makes him tick and what makes him talk, and, family dynamics and things like that, and them gathering around the table. And not just that, just like little subtle things too that, typically would not go into a film, or they could, but usually are just kind of left on the cutting room floor. But just the way somebody lights a cigarette, opens the door, twitches their nose, sneezes, and things like that. You kind of get in all of that. And it's just kind of like these little details, that I'm really appreciating about his character. But at the same time, I'm on the fence as I'm watching it, because I'm like, this guy here, he's a racist, but at the same time, this film is kind of making you like him. So that's just kind of like throwing me for a loop right there. But let me get over to Mr. Ali and talk about black people for a little bit. This film touched me, and his performance touched me in so many different ways. Okay. For one thing is, what does it mean to be black? That's really kind of a hard question to answer. It's kind of a stupid question at the same time. None of us are the same. Not even like blacks around the world are not the same. Black Americans are not the same. I mean, you have, your stupid stereotypes of, some thugged out gangster, but you also have your stereotypes of Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all of that in between. And all of that can or cannot make up blackness. And this film does with that, especially with Mr. Don Shirley, Mr. Mahershala Ali. And I feel like I'm butchering his name. He has some identity issues. There is a documentary right now on Netflix called Accidental Courtesy. I forgot the brother's name, but he's a jazz player, black dude. And and I'm pretty sure you've seen him on the news. He goes around meeting with the members of the Ku Klux Klan. Basically, it's like, why don't you like me? I mean, if you get to know me, you can see that I'm a nice guy and we can get along and dance in circles and all that stupid stuff. Now, I initially, when I was watching that documentary and I heard about that case, I was like, man, this dude got some balls on him. You know what I'm saying? Openly going to white supremacist terrorists, KKK, trying to be their friend. And I respected him for a second until when I was watching that documentary and it got to the very, very end. And I'm going to bring this point back over to the Green Book. Just bear with me. It was at the very end where he was having that conversation in the bar with them brothers that got arrested for protesting and all that stuff. And he made that disrespectful comment talking about, you have the mindset like this, like a college dropout. And, so they really got into it right there. In that scene, one of the brothers was like, this dude is crazy. He does not love himself. And right there, the dude in the documentary kind of twisted a certain way because he knew it was true. He really did not love himself. He was an Uncle Tom. And it was that key moment, that mannerism right there to where I lost our respect for him. I was like, okay, man, you cannot live your life unless you are accepted by white people. That is sick. Like, okay, if white people like me, Brandon Keith Avery, okay, great. They like me. But if they don't like me, I don't give a damn. I'm going to just keep on going about mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to grow up a lifetime about, why don't you want to be my friend? Like, why? No, you're not going to beg somebody. And this character is like that. So to bring it back to the point of this movie and the acting, I said, in that documentary, it was that one point to where he twitched for a second. I got those mannerisms in his face to where it just showed me that, and that 1 millisecond of a moment gave me an infinite amount of information about his character. And this film, Green Book, did the exact same thing with Mahershala Ali. There was a scene with him in the car, and the white dude, Viggo, was like, man, you don't even identify with your own people. And that just really spoke to me. And he did something in that scene in the car. So I was like, bro, I feel you. Because Viggo didn't understand. He thought he understood, but he didn't get the full picture. But as far as like double consciousness and all that good stuff, man, that just really touched me right there. This film also just comes to go to show how in today and back in today's world and back in the day, to where like the white supremacists, the racists, how a lot of other people think that the white supremacists hate us. Well, some of them do. They do. But some of them actually do love us, do love black people. And what am I talking about? They love black people like we're the dogs of the family. Like, what do you mean? I remember Dr. Boyce Watkins talking about this in Hidden Colors 4, and some other people talking about this too. Not all white people, but a lot of the white races out there, they love us like the dogs of the family. Because look, you have your dog. You can care for your dog. You can take care of your dog. You can wash your dog. You can play with your dog. You can let your dog come into the house. You sometimes may even let the dog jump up on the couch. You can take the dog to the park, throw the frisbee, play with the dog. Hey, everybody, look at my dog. Oh, look at the cute little dog, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as the dog tries to get up and be even with you and sit at the table or go take a crap in your toilet, what the hell you doing, dog? You better take your ass about there behind that and behind the barn and take a crap out there, or you better eat out that dog food. As soon as they try to get on that same level as you, they knock you down or shoot you dead or something like that. And that's how black people are treated in this country. That is how Dr. Don Shirley, Mahershala Ali, that's what he was going through or whatever. And he had courage, and and people, black Americans and black people, we have so many different ways of how we try to deal with racism. Sometimes we have our head on straight. Sometimes we get a little crazy in the head, and we thinking we can just go anywhere we want and say anything that we want to say, and there won't be any consequences. All of that is in this film right here. You know what I'm saying? And it's speaking to me. And this film is it's just a movie. But at the same time, it is not just a movie. Guys, if I have to rate Green Book out of a 1 out of 10, I will easily give this film a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, a 9.5 out of 10. But guys, that is just my opinion. Have you seen Green Book, or do you want to see it? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me, or do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. And if you don't, that's fine. But you can still subscribe to my channel. You can also look me up on social media. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all the good stuff. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all the good stuff there in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning into my opinion/review for Green Book. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion.